Hey friends, it's Editing Leah. I just wanted to step in quickly and mention something that I know someone's going to point out, so I just want to make sure people know that I noticed it. Number 1, I have lipstick on my teeth. Number 2, I have mascara above my lip when I was trying to fix my lipstick. And number 3, I must have rubbed my eyes because my eyeshadow is sort of streaked. I filmed this video at midnight, so please, please, please be kind. Okay, that's all. Back to the video. What's up, people? It's Leah, and today I am transforming myself into a Sith Lord. I'm actually currently wearing the makeup look I ended up using for my Sith cosplay, which I'm so excited to share with you. A few weeks back, I posted a video how to make a circle cloak. I used this old piece of black fabric that I had, and I didn't know what to do with it. I said, let's do a simple cloak tutorial, something easy and versatile. And I mentioned in the video that I didn't know what full cosplay I was going to use the circle cloak for, and a few of you mentioned in the comments that I should make myself a Sith Lord. I thought it was a great idea, and so here I am, completing the mission. I'm going to use the cloak that I made in that video. I'm going to spruce it up a little bit. I'm also going to be making a skirt out of a pair of pants that I own. I'm gonna come up with a cool hairstyle, and I'm gonna become a Sith Lord. But we all know the first thing that makes any good Sith Lord is a Sith Lord name, or a Sith Apprentice name, but in this world, I'm a Lord. So I Googled Sith Lord name quiz on Google, and the first result that popped up said, take this Star Wars quiz and get a Sith name. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh my gosh, it's a knowledge quiz. I thought it was gonna be like, you come to a clearing in the woods. On one side is a cabin. On the other side is a haunted mansion. Which direction do you pick? But this is who raised Princess Leia. Let me see if I can find anything else. What would your Sith name be? BuzzFeed quiz. This is gonna be the exact amount of corny that I'm looking for. So you finally decided to join the dark side, eh? Good choice. Now you'll truly experience the power of the Force. Unlimited power! Does anyone listen to my podcast? If you don't, you totally should. I'm currently actually watching through Star Wars with my bestie Kelly, who's never seen it before, and she's absolutely loving it. It's so fun. We just discuss the movies and have a great time. Okay, the quiz isn't coming up. Okay, this quiz isn't loading for some reason, but I'm reading the comments and somebody wrote that their name was Darth Kardashian, so this is actually not the quiz I'm looking for. This is not the quiz you're looking for. Okay, let's keep looking. What is your Sith Lord name? Okay, here we go. This is a good one. What is the attribute that defines you? Justice. I decide my own morality. Passion. It's what gives me strength. Hatred. I neither know nor care of morality. Manipulation. I know everyone's use and I use them to their fullest effect in my greatest benefit. Pain. Pain is the source of rage and power. Betrayal. I use all around me as I would use a weapon. Hunger. It drives me to take more. Take. I'm gonna say passion. Passion gives me strength. Which style of lightsaber combat do you wield? Determination, contention, resilience, aggression, perseverance, moderation, ferocity. Aggression. I'm definitely an aggressive fighter when it comes to video games. Not very good, but that's the only fighting I can sort of draw from because I've never fought IRL, you know. What is your most powerful Force power? I'm gonna say Force lightning, only for the reason I think I'll be able to Photoshop that in the final part of this video. When I reveal the cosplay, I think I might be able to add in some Force lightning, which will be cool. Why did you destroy a planet? After I learned it had nothing to offer me, I was hungry. That's a great answer. I was hungry. How do you defeat an opponent? I manipulate them into fighting each other. Why do you hate the Jedi? I do not hate them, but their death gives me power. Give me my name, Master. Darth Nihilus, a being too powerful for mere flesh and bone, draining the very life around you to feed your hunger for power. You see all Jedi and all Sith as a means to feed your ravenous thirst for the Force, and you shall quench all life you see before moving on. Darth Nihilus, I like it. I like it. I'll put the quiz in the description if anybody else wants to take it. That was fun. But now let's get into the cosplay. So for starters, I have my base robe that I made in my circle cloak video. I need to finish the edge around the bottom. So my plan for this is I want to get a trim that I'm going to put around the hood area and then around the bottom of the cloak. I also need to get some sort of clasp to hold the cloak together. So my first stop is to go to Joann's Fabric and find some trim. So I'm getting ready to head out to Joann's right now. now I need to get a trim for the Sith cosplay that I'm doing. In my head right now, I have an idea that I want to do something lacy, but I'm gonna just see what they have and see what inspires me. So let's head to Joann's. So when I got to Joann's, I first saw this lacy trim and I thought that this could work well. I thought I was maybe going for a lacy vibe, but then as soon as I saw this pleather with the grommets in it, I knew that this was it. This felt so Sith to me and I thought it would be really cool. So that is what I ended up purchasing. I did run into a slight problem when buying this trim, but I have a solution to fix it. So I just got back from Joann's. I went there to get the trim that I wanted to put on my Sith robe as well as the front clasp. So I did end up going with this incredible trim. It's gonna be so fun. It's definitely giving Sith. And originally my idea was that I wanted to put it as like a trim around the hood and then along the bottom of the robe. But two reasons why I'm changing that. Number one, they gave me the end. They didn't have that much left. They didn't have as much as I needed. So I didn't want to give this up because I just loved it so much and I wanted to use it. But I also knew that my original plan wouldn't work because I don't have enough of the trim. So here is my new plan and I just measured it. So I should have enough. Instead of doing the trim along the bottom, first of all, because it's like on the bottom, it's not going to be as noticeable. And this is really pretty and I don't want to waste it on the bottom of the robe. I'd rather have it be more of a focal point. So instead I decided I'm still gonna do it around the hood and then I'm going to use the trim along the front of the robe. So that is the new plan, which means that I do need to finish the bottom of the robe because it isn't finished. So I'm gonna have to deal with that seam and then we can start pinning on the trim. The trim worked really, really well around the hood. I have to say this is a difficult fabric to work with, so my lines are not very straight. But the good thing about working with black fabric is it hides mistakes really well. And now I'm going to put the trim down the front of the cloak, which was my new idea since I did not have enough to go around the bottom. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that I didn't have enough to go around the bottom. I think it's a bit of a happy accident because it'd be hidden on the bottom. I think in the front it's gonna look really cool and really show off this cool trim. Now for the bottom. I'm going to turn a pair of black pants into a slitted skirt. Hey, it's the next day. The robe is looking solid. I also sewed on the clasp that I bought. So we've got one side there, one side there. Gives it a cool closure situation. So we're going to put that aside for the moment. And now we're gonna work on the pants. I have this pair of pants that I have had in my cosplay bin for a long time. I do have a bin where I keep old clothes that I don't wear anymore, but thought that I could potentially one day use for cosplay. So they're a pair of long black pants. I recently did try to reintegrate them to my wardrobe and I wore them to Creep IE-Con, but the truth about them is they are just a little bit too tight, especially around like the pant area. And since 2023 is the year of hashtag get Leah a booty, these are not going to be fitting me for much longer and I'd rather just use them for a cosplay and I thought this would be fun. I'm going to make them into a skirt that will ideally have two slits running up the side. So step one of that is to seam rip all around the sewed pant area, sew it into a long skirt, and then figure out where we're going to put the slits. I also ended up with a lot more of this trim than I thought I would have. I don't have enough to run it up and down the slits. That's just gonna be way too much, but I do think there is some way that I could use this for the pants as well. So I'm gonna brainstorm that while I seam rip. I'll check back in with you soon. So after I had cut the slits into the skirt, I realized it was sort of counterintuitive to sew those back up just to create more slits. I know that this is technically the front and back of the skirt, but I think if I just rotate it and have the zipper on the side instead of the back, it might fit a little wonky, but it's gonna save me a ton of time because instead of sewing these slits up and making new ones, I can just hem these slits and these will work perfectly fine. So I did make a hem here. I just folded it on top of each other so it wouldn't fray. This fabric actually was fraying a ton, but I do have a pair of pinking shears. If you don't know what pinking shears are, they are just scissors with a zigzag edge. And basically what that accomplishes is it creates a zigzag in your fabric and it does help it from fraying. So I did cut the fabric with this and then I folded it into itself, sewed that down, and now we've got some good hemmed edges. And this is the progress of the skirt. The slits look awesome. This fabric also was very difficult to work with, but we're trying our best here. I ended up with a lot more trim left over than I thought I would, so I'm planning on using some of that in the skirt to tie these two pieces together. The idea that I had was to have two pieces running parallel to each other down the front and to string a lace between that to make it sort of like a corset. So we're gonna sew those pieces on now. I didn't mention it before, but I changed into my Star Wars sweatshirt. Thought it was on brand, especially since it's got the baddies on it and I'm making me a baddie. I finished the skirt. This is what we're dealing with here. Don't look too closely at it. It looks good on. Like, it's not perfect by any means, but the way that it goes on kind of hides the mistakes. We're not always here for perfection. Sometimes we just do our best, and that's all we can do. Both of these are very hard fabrics to work with, as it turns out. I recently worked with just some like regular cotton that you buy just in the yard for my Clown Cafe costume. Spoiler alert, that's gonna be next week's cosplay video. I'm very, very excited about it, but you will see that fabric, so easy to work with, and that's probably the best costume I've ever made. I'm very excited for everyone to see it, but enough with the spoilers. Let's get back to this. I've done most of the assembly that I'm going to do. I've got a cool pair of boots that I'm gonna wear. I have an idea for a fun hairstyle because a Star Wars look is not complete without a cool hairstyle filled with braids and or buns. But I still don't have a shirt to go underneath this cosplay. So I've got in front of me, you can't see them, two giant bins. I'll hold one up. Two giant bins. In these bins, I keep all of the clothes that I've cycled out of my wardrobe and I either want to use for cosplay or some other sort of wardrobe upcycle. I'm gonna go through here and see what I have. I have a backup idea for something I already have in my closet, but we'll see if we can find something more fun. It's obviously gotta be black. Oh, first, right off the bat. I'm not gonna use this, but I do wanna show it to you. This was a dress I had forever ago and I'm trying to make it into two pieces. So if you could see, it's R2-D2 and C-3PO. So this wouldn't work for this cosplay because we're trying to be a villain, but I've got the shirt and the skirt and I gotta finish this one day. It'll be super cute. This is just gonna be me going through my half-finished projects and being sad that I haven't finished any of them. Nothing in the first bin. Okay, so this is something I used when I was Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. I just bought it as a bodysuit and I added all of these rings to the front. This is a possibility, but I think with the hood, I'm gonna have to say no to it just because this already has a hood and this hood is really small. It doesn't fit very well. So yeah, that's probably a no, but I don't have that Scorpion cosplay anymore. So I have to find something to do with this. Oh, the leftover fabric that I made the robe with. Cool. Why do I keep just like a little piece this big? It's so tiny. I guess I could make a pocket with it. I don't know. It's so small. Anyway, getting off track once again. Sorry my hair is a mess, but I didn't want to do it because I'm gonna do my hair in my fun Sith hairstyle later today. Okay, this is just like a wrap top. It might be like too sexy. See, I don't really know how it goes. I know like this is the front and then it's just got all these ties. Yeah, that's gonna be too sexy. We're not gonna do that. This will be used for something else one day. Oh, this is a possibility too. Actually, I kind of like this. It's see-through, so I need something underneath. But I have this bandeau, and then this is like this sheer fabric. It's super nice. Yeah, I think we'll try this. I think we'll try this out, and then I have the thing in my closet as a backup. Would this be a belt around my waist? Ooh, that was cold. It hit my skin. This I also used for Scorpion. Ah, it's too cold. I don't know what I would use this for. I'm like thinking, some sort of weapon. See, I have a lightsaber, but it's blue. And I'm gonna try to change the color of it in post. So if I've left this portion of the video in, you can probably assume I figured out how to do it. I'm also trying to color my eyes yellow in post. So we'll see if we can do that too. Okay, we have the cosplay finished, but no Sith look will be complete without a Star Wars style hairdo. A lot of women in Star Wars have buns and braids, so that's sort of what my inspiration for this is going to be. I did come up with an initial look and it's slightly embarrassing because it does not look good at all, but I'm gonna show it to y'all because I like to make fun of myself. But I had this idea that I could do a braid across the front and then 4 buns along like the crown of my head, but it ended up just looking really sparse and I wanted it to be a fuller look. I did end up going through a few different options before I found the one that worked the best for me. That's kind of cool. And do the other one on the other side. I love how the green and the brown mix together. I'd have to pin these, but I think that looks pretty cool, actually. Now I don't love how the 2 small buns look, though. I don't like it. I just want there to be more of like a crown situation happening on the front of my head. So this part we like. I think that's cute. It's what to do with the rest of it. I ended up bringing in this ponytail that I had. I'd never used it before and I thought it looked amazing. The hair looked so healthy and so bouncy, and I liked having the green braid across the top of my head and then the brown ponytail hanging down. Now the last step is to create the makeup look that you're looking at now, and then I'll be ready to show off my full Sith Nihilus look. All right, we got the hair, we got the makeup, we have the cosplay, and here's the final result. This trim looked exactly like what I wanted it to. It's got such a dark vibe to it. It's almost a little steampunky, which I am a huge fan of. I have to say that the corset part that I did on the skirt was very, very difficult to sew in. I did mess it up a little bit. You can see on the one side that's more visible, it's got a really interesting ruching pattern. On the other side, not so much, but luckily it is covered with the top of the cloak, so it hides the mistake well. And the fabric is so flowy on the cloak and on the skirt, so it does hide the mistakes just because it is such a flowy fabric. I love the way the slits came out. I think it looks awesome with these high boots. The clasp is cool as well. I definitely need to get some more of these in my collection because they are very, very helpful to use. And this makeup look and hair just really ties the look together. Darth Nihilus is coming for you. Beware. Thank you so much for coming along for another cosplay video. It was really fun doing something like this where I got to explore a world that I love a lot, but create my own character within that world. So thank you for everyone who suggested that I turn that cloak into a Sith Lord outfit. I had so much fun making it, coming up with it, brainstorming the idea, and it was super simple. Besides the trim, I just used stuff I already had in my collection with the skirt that used to be a pair of pants, the cloak, which I had had already made out of a piece of fabric that was gifted to me. And then the shirt situation was just something super simple, something I keep in my cosplay bin, and it worked out perfectly. If you like what you're seeing on this channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below with some cosplay that you might want to see me do. As a spoiler, we have a very exciting video coming next week. I did mention it briefly in this video, but I made the Clown Cafe costume that I wear in Terrifier 2, and I'm going to bring you along for the entire process. Moving forward, I'll be using that cosplay for fan conventions, meeting fans, taking photos, and I am so excited to use it. And this has been another cosplay video with me, Leah the Princess, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 난 겨울. Yeah, 가요 콜라. Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 그 chill day.